Another week of Alone in the books. Today we got to visit in on five of our contestants. We went from roughly day 18 to 22 during this episode, and we got to see someone go home. We might as well start with Keith right off the bat. Keith, you really seemed interesting. Like you genuinely did. Like you were doing cool stuff out there. You gave yourself a tattoo apparently. Like that is not the situation that you need to be thinking about giving yourself a tattoo. And doing these funny jokes where you're like, hey, can I get a pizza? And I just have to say, Keith got smacked with a little bit of alone karma there. He makes the prank phone call, and a day later, he's making the real phone call and going home. In the after episode, Keith said that he was mentally prepared, or not prepared, but mentally in a good state when he went home. Like he was all there, but like watching the episode today, it really just felt like okay, like we're just leading towards Keith going home. Like it felt like Mark was thriving, Callie was thriving, Joel was thriving, except for the fly incident. And even that little snippet of Roland that we saw, like he's starting to thrive. And Joel was just kind of puttering. You know, he seemed to be like questioning being there, and he was struggling to get the food and didn't seem like he was making huge progress in anything out there at that point in today's episode. And I was not surprised at all when it ended up being him that tapped out. I was surprised that how it went down. You know, he got sick from presumably from eating a squirrel. Started throwing up, couldn't keep anything down, not even water. And we've seen before that almost always leads to the person tapping out. It's very rare that someone pushes through and recovers from, you know, being sick, being dehydrated, and really it's just not safe to be out there when your body's going through those conditions. So Keith ends up being our guy tapped out. You know, what did he get out of the experience? He got a new pair of earrings, a new tattoo, and 22 days in the Arctic. Let's move on to our other contestants. I really want to talk about Mark. You know, we got back to Mark. You know, he's got this beautiful cabin set up. He's got a luxury cooking area inside, and I didn't realize this, but he has caught 26 fish. I'm gonna go into a slight graphic detail here that Mark revealed in the after show today, and that was the reason that all of a sudden Mark was like, yeah, maybe I don't need a solid fish diet. Maybe I need to add some plants back in. But while he was asleep one night, he shit the bed. There's no simple way to put it. He shit the bed. Middle of the night, he crapped the bed. And all of a sudden he was like, yep, I think I'm going to need to have a little bit of fruit and vegetables in my diet now. So if that ever happens to you, I guess the answer is just get up the next day and eat a salad and you're good to go. We also left Mark laying in a bush with his bow and arrow waiting for a bear. And like we didn't see him again all episode. You know, obviously he's fine because we saw him on the after show tonight. But what a way to just leave one of the contestants. Like that's where his story ends for the day. It's like, yep, he's just laying in a berry bush. He's got his bow and arrow, and he's just waiting for a bear to stroll in. And we're kind of getting some vibes that, you know, our contestants are hunting the bears. You know, I kind of thought that the bears were protected there, and I guess they are not, because numerous contestants are kind of foreshadowing to, you know, if there's a bear coming in, we're shooting the bear, we're eating the bear. And I'm interested to see how that goes. You know, last year we saw Jordan take down the Moose and the Wolverine, but it would be a little bit of one-upmanship to see someone take down a bear today. Our other two main contestants today that we got to see were Joel and Callie. Callie has really been ignoring getting a shelter set up. She's kind of been really living off her trap lines. They seem to be quite productive, and food-wise, she's been pretty good. And then she spent a lot of the day just doing arts and crafts, which came off as a little strange to me, considering like seems like she's got a lot of work to do. You know, the snow is just about to start to fall. I think we even saw one shot with Keith today where the snow was falling, and you know, it could be a slow ease into winter, or it could be a smack in your face, welcome to winter in the Arctic. We don't know what's going to happen. You know, Great Slave Lake can freeze over in a matter of weeks, not a slow, steady over months, but weeks, that we can go from this nice fall weather to winter. And it just does not feel like she's she's getting prepared for that. You know, it felt like she was trying to convince us the importance of containers. You need containers. Containers are so important out there. You have to have containers. Well, nobody else is worried about getting containers. You know, we have some guys who've scrounged up some tin cans, and that's good enough. So I hope that Callie does not stick with the turtle and the hare analogy, that the turtle's going to get there just fine. Because I really feel like she needs to step her game up to get prepared for what's ahead. Joel, you know, really, I just want to talk about Joel and the fly. That was a bizarre scene. You know, we hear that fly buzzing around. We knew from the preview that fly was going to go in his ear. But, you know, for a second there, I thought that it was going to be a tap out moment. And what a brutal way to end your journey that would be, tapping out because a fly got in your ear. My first thought when the fly went in his ear was, flush it out. Flush that thing out. And I'm glad that that's what he attempted, and it immediately worked. I'm glad that he didn't have to tap out due to a fly in the ear. But one of those strange moments in the show where you kind of realize, like, one oopsie or one unforeseen thing, and you could be out, you could be done. You know, if he'd gone about the wrong way, getting that fly out of his ear, it could be over for him. Lastly, we have Roland. You know, we got another snapshot of Roland today. It was right at the end of the episode, so I was like, oh, they're not going to do that to Roland. Have him come in at the end of the episode, have something bad happen, and have him tap out. But thankfully, it was to show Roland catching some fish on the danger zone gilly net. You know, that is a precarious walk every time we watch him walk down to that water to even check on the gilly net. So I'm glad that it's producing some food for him. And I have a little bit of a theory, and that is that we've been seeing lots of Roland in the after episode interviews. And I think he's still in Rock House. I think he's out there still in the Arctic, living his best life, and he's just thriving out there, and he refuses. He's like, maybe he's thinking, you know, 200 days, maybe that's $2 million. 300 days, 3 million. Like he's just racking up the cash in his mind, but I don't think that's quite how it works. But Rock House was looking pretty nice. I think that wraps us up for this week. I think I covered everything I intended to, and yeah, I really enjoyed the episode tonight, and can't wait for more Alone and to see what happens to all our contestants out in the Arctic this winter. All right, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later.